2 Corinthians says not to be unequally yoked, but was that originally part of Paul's letter? The passage begins with, "Do not be mismatched with unbelievers, for what do righteousness and lawlessness have in common?" And it ends with, "Since we have these promises, beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from every defilement of flesh and of spirit, making holiness perfect in the fear of God." This section is a perfectly self-contained little argument, and it doesn't really lead into or in any way reference the surrounding text. And in fact, the surrounding text makes more sense when you skip this chunk. It says, "We have spoken frankly to you, Corinthians. Our heart is wide open to you. There is no restriction in our affections, but only in yours. In return, I speak as to children. Open wide your hearts also. Make room in your hearts for us. We have wronged no one. We have corrupted no one. We have taken advantage of no one." So what happened here? There are a couple of different possibilities. One is that Paul is just making a very clumsy non sequitur, though I generally consider him to be a better writer than that. He does use complicated phrases and things, but this just doesn't seem to be his style. The second is that this may have been originally a footnote that someone added in as they were reading and copying the scriptures. Often we have manuscripts where scribes would leave a little mark inside the page and then write their own commentary or notes or possible other readings or whatever, and we've seen multiple places in the New Testament where these footnotes in later copies end up getting incorporated into the text at the point that it's noted. The final option is that it's a more malicious kind of tampering with the Bible, trying to put something in to either nullify or to change somehow the surrounding text. But I tend to side with the idea of the footnote, and these are my reasons. Even though the idea of being unequally yoked or mismatched doesn't make perfect sense in context, it does make a sort of tangential sense. Paul is speaking here about the mismatched affections of him and the Corinthians. And so it makes a little bit of sense, but not perfect sense to go on this digression about mismatched between believers and unbelievers. So, what do you think? Is that argument convincing? Or do you think there's a better argument? Either way, keep searching the scriptures.